event that's very superficial and surface level, and that's not a bad thing, but I feel like those are good, oh hello, like introduction kind of relationships. But then I feel like when you create deeper relationships with people that actually know you and understand you and find like nunas or like hyungs like that, then I think it just helps because they not only understand what you want as a career, like on a career level, but they also understand, oh, what do I need, like personally and like in my soul, and like just understand you. And I think that is a bigger part of mentorship than just career wise.
Just tagging along a little bit with that. So here are the networking, the parties, the gathering, but you also want to go to a gathering when there's professors involved, right? Don't ever miss that. You say, oh, well, I want to go where professors will be. I don't like to be with professors. That's absolutely wrong. You know, if you want to find mentors, you want to figure out what you want to do 5 years from now, you gotta go mingle with professors, and it's a technique to learn to mingle with professors, and it's a technique and skill that you have to learn the networking technique. You have to ask professors, hey, I know you are a law professor, and I really want to be a lawyer. It's going to be criminal law. Who are you the criminal law expert? And I said, oh no, I'm not, but John is. Let me take you over there. Hey, John, what was your name again? Yeah, Spencer wants to be a criminal law. He wants to study criminal. So that's how you get networked. Okay, that's how you get pulled in. Okay, so that's just a little bit of additional comments there. Anybody who wants to figure out, want to mentor about how to find great mentors? You've been kind of quiet. Do you want to say something? No? You want to say something?
For me, I found good mentors, like career-wise, by sending a lot of emails. I want to transfer into the nursing school, so I found TAs, professors, advisors, and I would send a bunch of emails to find out more information about the transfer process and like what classes to take.
That's a great comment. Don't be passive. That's probably the worst thing that you want to do when you go to college. Starting to learn to be aggressive. That word aggressive may not be the correct word, but be very
proactive.
Active. There you go. Proactive. Be proactive. Don't be passive. And this becomes even worse and worse as you finish college, go to professional school, graduate school, and finish all the schooling, and you're out in the society. You're a passive person, you'll get nowhere. You gotta be very, very proactive. Okay? Any more comments on how to find mentors? I think we cover pretty much a good portion. Any questions from the audience from the school? Oh, very active audience. Go ahead.
Do you guys prefer work-study jobs or off-campus jobs?
Work-study jobs, off-campus jobs. And anybody want to tackle that? Work-study, go ahead.
I only chose to go with work-study just because it was like hard to get to my job. But I guess if you have a car, like off-campus would be nice because you probably get more money.
First, you need a car, but you could have a bicycle. I used to use a bicycle to get to my job. Everywhere, rain or shine, snow. Go ahead.
I mean, I don't think it just depends on what job you find, and like I think take your time when you find your job, because if you find a job that you like, and like you're gonna have a lot better time in college, because I know some people that like file papers for 9 hours a day, and I get free ice cream, so.
Free ice cream, that's a good thing.
Another thing to keep in mind, correct me if I'm wrong, federal work study, you are given a set amount of money. Like you're allowed to make a set amount of money, and that's going to show up on your loans. And those usually range around from $2,000 to $3,000, depending on what your financial aid is. But on the flip side, if you get a job, let's say, with like Dwight at an ice cream shop, he makes around minimum wage in New York. That's like what, 13 bucks? 13 bucks an hour. 11, sorry, 11 bucks an hour. Depending on how much you work, you can expect to make more in a year with that job than you can with your federal work study. And also, federal work study isn't official, meaning that you're not guaranteed a job. I was given a federal work study, and even though I went to go look for a job, there were so many people looking for that same job that I couldn't even get one. So it's all up to you at that point.
Go ahead.
Okay, also, they limit the amount of hours you can work, and like personally, I worked in the gym and it was only open till like 5, but I had classes till 6, so like I could never work. And also you have to like, they like give you a set amount that like you can make, like what Daewon said, but like they only let you work a certain hours a week, so basically like you can't make all the money you're supposed to make. So I only made like 1/5 of what I was actually supposed to make, because I also just never went to work because of classes.
I would also say for my school, I know a lot of people who started with federal work studies that led to an actual job, so they make a lot more money. Like one of my friends, she started working for her anthropology professor, and then eventually, since she became so skilled in that area, like he just decided to hire her, and now she gets paid like a lot of money. So I think, yeah, you should take that into consideration as well.
Good. Working life is important, but again, everywhere you are is a networking place. You could work in the ice cream shop and somebody comes in, and don't worry about starting a conversation. Don't, there's ice cream and $5.75. Go a little further than that. If you think this person's a little more than what you think he or she is, you could carry on casual conversation, and if you find out that's actually a professor from the college who came to your ice cream shop, and you could carry on the next level of education. I am interested in engineering. It's a mechanical engineering. Do you know anyone who's a mechanical engineering mentor that I could appreciate? You see, you just jump to another level by doing that type of networking. So don't be afraid to ask questions. Okay. Did we cover most of that work life in college? There was a one person. Go ahead. Your question.
If you're applying for grad school, is it important to like do clubs and stuff during college?
Clubs for graduate school. Go ahead.
So I. But no, for grad school, clubs and organizations do matter, but not as much as other more logistics, such as your diplomas. If they ask for certification that any field experiences that you have, they look more for your jobs or your GRE scores or your certifications and things like that, not so much leadership or anything like that.
Go ahead.
Yeah, they are important because they like to see that you don't just dedicate your whole life just to study. Like they want to know that you're able to balance like being in organizations and studying as well. And also leadership positions are important. So if you were to join an organization, like try and take up a leadership position because they like to see that. But of course your GPA is always important. But I know people who have gotten into grad school and they have like low GPAs, but like they explain that they're in like 3 organizations and that's why their GPA wasn't like a 4.0 and like they still got the job. So like definitely involvement in the school is important.
Good. Do you want to say something? You're looking at me. No? That's a really important question, and the panelists said really important points. Do you think the world needs geniuses of every field? Do you think that's what the world wants?
Yes.
The world doesn't want geniuses, despite your anticipation. World wants rounded people, people who knows how to work as a team. That's what world wants. They don't want genius who says, I'm the best and I don't need all of you guys, get out of my room and I could do this project all by myself. Nobody wants people like that. World does not want geniuses. World wants leaders and team members and team players. That's the right word. The world needs team players. How do you become team players? Do you think you can become a team player just sitting at home studying in the library all day long, all 4 years of your college? Do you think you'll become you learn the skill to become a team player? Absolutely not. You will never be a team player because you don't know how to be a team. Okay, you have to go to gatherings, network, go to parties, and learn to mingle with people. And if this person is mad at what I think, you have to learn to how to maybe negotiate with this person. Why are you so mad at me for that topic? You have to learn to talk too. So world needs a team player. The world does not want geniuses. Absolutely not. Okay. We need few geniuses, like let's say Tesla, or those kind of things, Bill Gates. But the world needs a team player, really, really good team player. The better off you are, the more successful you will be. Anybody who wants, you're smiling, you want to say something? No? Okay. Did we cover that? Everybody cover that? So we go to the next. What are church experiences like during college years? Who wants to tackle that question? What are church experiences like? Does it help you? Does it ruin you? In what ways church experiences enhances your college life? Church experience. Panelists, no comments? Go ahead. Again, we need a team player. That's okay.
Alright, yeah, so there's, well, for Rutgers at least, for the Rutgers Korean church kind of like community, there's this thing called church hopping. And I think, yeah, that's a really good thing. Well, not a good thing, well, a thing that you're probably gonna have to do if you really want to find your own church community. Because each church, although like the pastor may be really good, like really get you, like help you with your faith, like ultimately if like the community that's there, if they're like not your crowd, then it's ultimately not gonna work out. Because I went to a church that wasn't really my crowd for I guess a year and a half now, and yeah, I mean, it did grow my faith, but personally, I didn't really enjoy myself there because I didn't really have that big of a community. So it's really important to just search around and find a church that works for you. That's just my opinion.
Okay. I kind of want to disagree with that.
It's okay to disagree. Really.
So for me, I think I would encourage you not to do church hopping just because I feel like if you just go to a bunch of different churches like every week or every other week, you won't really know what the church is like because it's easy to judge something from the cover, but like you're not investing your time with these people, like you don't know what it's actually like below the surface. So I would say give it like 2 months to get to really know what it's like and what they believe in. I think that's really important because there's a bunch of different churches with different denominations, and you probably haven't even thought about like what denomination are you really, what do you really believe. So I think it's important to do like research, to like go on websites, like things that you hear from people that you trust, and see what their mission, like their statement of faith is. So I think that's really important to know before you go in. So like, yeah, you know what you're looking for and you know how you will be served.
Thank you. There could be a difference between boy and a girl preference. That we may have a different opinion. There's no such thing as who's right or wrong, but that's just a different opinion. Anyone who wants to tackle this question? Who else? Go ahead.
Yeah, I agree with Dobbin. I think church hopping isn't the best choice to make. I church hopped a lot. I actually recently committed to a church, like just my second half of my sophomore year. So for a year and a half, like I didn't really have a stable church to go to constantly. So I was always hopping around, and I think that's hard on you too personally because spiritually it's draining because you don't have a backing or a foundation to go to, and also like a church is supposed to be a community, and to not have that, I think it really does make an impact on your daily life as well and your spiritual life. So I would agree with Dobbin. I do agree with Dobbin that church hopping isn't the best, but I think it's part of, I don't know, like I just had to do it because I literally, that's just like how I made, and like I personally just couldn't choose, and I'm like a very indecisive person, so that's what happened to me. But thankfully I found like good fellowships on my campus too that like supported me and helped me like find churches and like try to connect me and to keep me spiritually stable.
Anyone who wants to support church hopping? We got 2-1 here.
Well, I say church hopping, but I don't mean like different church every week. Yeah, like yeah,
That's
like
okay.
church hopping as in like give one like say like a month or two or just like some time to like kind of figure out what they stand for and stuff like that. Yeah, like a different one every week is no, don't do that.
Okay, so that was one question from the screen. Anyone who wants to have a... Go ahead. Elizabeth, you are a high school student?
No, I'm not.
Okay, so parents will have a chance to ask a question later.
No, I'm a college student too. But
Oh, you are?
Yeah.
Okay, well, we'll have an exception here. We're flexible. Go ahead.
I'm not that into the current yet, but I'll take that. As a current EM member and as a youth group teacher, I want to ask you guys this. When you guys go to college, right, what's like the thing that makes you deter you from going to church? Because my past life, I also did not go to church as a college student, but I came back thankfully by the grace of God. But for youth group students and for current college students here, I want to ask you guys that.
Okay, so from the church teacher, question, why do you not go to church? Go ahead. It's okay. I mean, it's experimental period.
Well, that's a very hard question to ask in a church. Well, personally, on Sundays, I was actually pretty busy. I was committed to the Taekwondo team at NYU. So, and the practices were actually held in the mornings on Sundays. And yes, some EM services were conducted, especially because I lived in New York, there are hundreds of churches. They were in the afternoons and nights, but you know, the next day, I had an 8 a.m. Chem recitation that I had to do homework for. And in the end, it's the workload and it's the amount of commitment that you have towards your other extracurricular activities that you kind of have to balance. And for me, I felt like giving up that spiritual life was necessary in order to actually commit to my complete college life. And I guess that was one of the reasons why.
Too busy is basically the summary.
No excuses.
Mm-hmm. Go ahead.
I personally, where I went to college, there aren't any Korean churches. There's maybe one that's also very tiny and hard to get to. So distance and the lack of there being a church for me to go to kind of deterred me from going to church. But I also found a site online where I could listen to sermons on Sundays instead of going to an actual church, which I know is not as great, but it's better than nothing. And when I had the time, I also had a busy schedule on Sundays, but when I had the time, I would go to the church at my school, the chapel. And of course, it's not the same as what I'm used to. It's definitely not the same as a Korean church, but I found that it was a lot better than completely ignoring my faith and I don't know.
Okay. Anybody going to church on Sunday here? Oh, okay. Go ahead.
Well, first semester, I don't think I went to church just because, like, once I got into college, there was no one telling me to go. Like, my mom texted me to go, and I would say that I went and not go.
Go ahead.
But I think it was because, like, once I fell out of the routine, like, I didn't go 1 week, it was so much easier to just not go after that. But thankfully, my roommate's mom, she, like, rented us a car every Sunday so that we can go to a church in Atlanta that was, like, an hour away, because that was, like, the nearest Korean church. So, yeah, like, I got back into the routine, and I started going every Sunday.
Why did you go out of routine? What happened that first falling out of routine? Party?
No, it was just, like, I guess kind of like rebellion because I grew up 18 years of my life with my parents telling me to go to church every Sunday.
Good
So, like,
answer.
going into college, it was like, I guess freedom to like choose what I wanted to do. And on Sunday, like I'd rather sleep in than like go to a 9 a.m. service. So yeah.
Yeah, that's a very good answer. I think most of us testify to that we fell out of routine and we just wanted some freedom. Anybody who wants to defend that? We don't go to church because we wanted some freedom and we wanted to test out what freedom is like, and then like she goes back to the routine. Anybody else want to comment on that? It's okay. Is your parents here? It's okay. Go ahead.
I don't know so much about freedom. For me, it was like I've been at Hope for 18 years of my life, or 19 years of my life, and finding a new community was kind of daunting, and it just didn't, like, I don't know. It felt hard, like really difficult to find a community that was like
a home church.
Yeah, kind of. And it was hard for me to transition into like that life, and soon like I started to like drop out of going, and then eventually just stopped.
Anybody want to go ahead?
So it was really hard for me because the church that I ended up committing to is a multicultural church. I wasn't used to talking to white people or anyone not Asian. Also, we have service with college students, interns, and adults, so everyone's in the same service, and everyone is like talking to each other like before and after the service. So that was really intimidating because everyone like seemed like they were really close and everyone had their own groups and I didn't know anyone. So I felt like I was just tagging along and like I was being a burden and stuff. But I would say that I think for me personally it's worth it because it gives me the strength to go on for the rest of the week. And I think, yeah, that's what a lot of what church does for me. I also think that if you really are committed to something, you will make time for it. Like, you can say that you don't have time, but I think that you can, like, yeah, in between services, you can do your homework or stuff like that. Like, you can always make time for it if you think about it.
Okay, so I think that kind of covers it for the Sunday school teacher. And for you too. I think we have about 10 minutes, so we're going to quickly go through these questions. These are questions that you guys had texted in. Frat or sororities? Anybody here in frat or sororities? Go ahead.
Hello? Yeah, I'm in a sorority at Rutgers, and it's not, Greek life isn't like what you see on like movies and stuff like that. I mean, like, it is, but like, there's a lot of benefits in joining a sorority. Like, your parents might be like, oh no, don't join one because like, you're gonna party, but I joined one because there's so many like connections you can get, like alumni, like you can get so many jobs from it. Like my friend just got an internship from an alumni that is working, and you can also take up leadership positions. So I took up treasurer because I'm an accounting major, so it's really gonna help me, grow in that field. So I think like you should look into it. I mean, don't just join it because you want to go to parties, but it's a good experience and you can meet a lot of people too.
Good answer. Go ahead.
There aren't just partying frats and sororities. Yes, you can get connections in most of your frats and sororities, but there are also sororities and frats where it's mostly for professional purposes. I know there's one in NYU. I'm not sure what it really is. It's like medical based, and most of the people who really want to become like future doctors or whatever, they join that sorority and they build connections. They meet up like weekly. I'm not really sure. I wasn't really involved. I just heard about it. But yeah, there are frats and sororities where it's just a professional level of getting to networking, like Dr. Suh said.
Anybody want to say more about frats and sororities? No? I'm a frat boy. Mu Lambda Sigma. It was a professional society. It was about what you think is a frat. I'm doing okay. Because I really wanted to find out what their life was like. So I'm a frat boy. So next question. What do your weekly schedules look like? Who wants to tackle that question? Weekly schedule. Study all day, or you want to tackle that question?
I think you're given a lot, well, I mean, everyone knows this, but you're given a lot more freedom in college, and you don't, you don't have to go to class from 9 to 3 and then come home and do SAT work and then, you know, just do your homework, then you go to sleep. It's like you get time to like relax, eat food, like hang out with your friends and stuff since everyone's like right around you. But I'd say, like I guess something like some advice to go along with that is like you're given a lot of free time, so just like learn how to manage it, because otherwise you're going to, you know, get in trouble.
Balancing time. Go ahead.
For that question, I want to say it kind of depends on your major as well. So for me as a teacher, I had the, I don't want to say burden, but the role of going to a school for the whole day, every single day, Monday through Friday, to teach little kids, and then I had classes at night. But that was just me. It depends on what your school requires you to do. Depends on what your major requires you to do, and.
You want to say something? Go ahead.
Yeah. So every semester you're given a different schedule just based on the classes that you do pick. So sometimes, like last semester, I had a class that ended at 11 p.m. So after, like, I would study, and then I would wake up in the morning for my 8 a.m. class, and then, like, I would nap throughout the day because that was like my sleeping time. So yeah, like every day it's a different schedule. So you're gonna survive through college through naps, like I'm telling you guys now. And yeah, so you just have to, when you do schedule, I would recommend picking classes that are earlier in the day, just because like when you get up earlier, you have more time to study. You also have time to eat and like actually go to class, because you're out of bed instead of like waking up at like 1 p.m.
She said very important. You will go through college life how to do power nap. You have to learn how to do power nap. When you go to graduate school, professional school, multiply that by 10. If you don't know how to do power nap, you'll be very tired. Next question, your sports life. Difference in sports. Anybody want, go ahead.
Well, yeah, like I said, I joined the NYU Taekwondo team. We just recently went up to Division 2 this year. And compared to high school, it's a lot more competitive. You meet up with a bunch of colleges that come from everywhere. Like, I remember I went to, where was it? I went to Cornell, and there were colleges from California, there were colleges from, like, all the Ivies, Harvard, Yale, Princeton, they all came, and it was just like a huge gathering of college students just kicking each other, and it felt pretty scary compared to like playing high school basketball or like running against